So here we are then, we're in the woods, we've got the fire on, we've got a nice cup of tea, and today we're going to talk about the Bushcraft show and prepping. Now, some time ago, this wonderful gentleman here approached me with a great idea, and I thought, you know what, it's probably about time, especially the way the world is right now, to introduce the wonderful world of preparedness into the Bushcraft show. And here is a guy who I'm going to let him introduce himself and tell us all about the idea.
Oh, thank you, Darren.
No problem, dude. Good
Excellent.
to see you again, mate. Thank you very much for welcoming me to this wonderful woodland too.
Well,
It's a beautiful
welcome to
place.
Camp Dryad. That's
Yeah.
what we call this bit of woods. So we're in the Gower Peninsula in South Wales, so it's a beautiful area, deciduous woodland, ancient woodland. Used to be a deer park back in medieval times.
Wow.
So the medieval lords of Gower, like the de Breos family back from the 12th century, they would do their hunting in here and, you know, killing peasants or pheasants.
Pheasants and peasants. I like that.
So yeah, we don't do much of that around, not anymore. But yes, a beautiful area, and this is where we run all our bushcraft courses, and it's by the coast, so we do some coastal foraging. But yes, it's, you know, like we were saying off camera, is I don't see there's much of a difference between bushcraft and prepping. It's, you know, the idea that there's somehow two separate things doesn't make any sense to me. So.
Yeah, it's like a big jump and it's being knitted together as we speak now. I mean, it's always has been, in fairness, because there's elements of both, isn't there? There's got survival, bushcraft and prepping, and they all intermingle in their own ways, in their own times for different people whenever they're ready to cross them all over, I guess. And like we said, the way the times are changing now, you know, the question of prepping is being really discussed well, even in the mainstream. So it just goes to show how much it's actually progressed. And here we are looking at introducing preparedness into the Bushcraft show. Now, what a cool idea that was, mate, to be honest.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've wanted to do it for a while because I've been involved with the Bushcraft show for about at least 10 years now, actually more than that. And I've never really seen this distinction between bushcraft and prepping. You know, it's as I said before, it's if you're going on an expedition, you go prepared. You know, you don't turn up in your underpants and expect to survive 6 months in the jungle, do you?
No,
so, you know,
not going to work.
So, well, you might, but the idea is, you know, you need skill, but you also need to be prepared, make life easy for yourself. So, you know, if you've got a few means of lighting a fire, you've got a way of purifying water, you know, some shelter, all of the above and all the sensible things, and why not apply that to everyday life? You know, if you know winter's coming, you know there's a good chance that there might be snow, so get a few extra days food in. Yeah. You know, there's a chance of a power cut, so you might want to have some candles, a torch. Whew. And it's just common sense stuff. Enough, you know, I don't see it as this sort of extreme thing that some
No, not at all. I mean, back in the day when we had serious winters here in the UK, it wasn't unheard of that people got snowed in for weeks or even months. You know, and they always made sure that they had enough food in the pantry because they knew, you know, trying to open that door with 8 foot of snow, it's not going to be a good thing. No. So they literally bugged in, is the common phrase is now. And yeah, the idea of bringing it to the Bushcraft show. Now, we've been talking about this for a while now, and I'm going to be bringing in 3 or 4 good friends of mine, and we're going to aim to do some sort of demonstration and talks and that, all for free at the Bushcraft show this year. And like I said, it's the first time it's going to happen, so we're really keen to sort of see what you guys think about the idea. I mean, it's a great platform to actually introduce it, isn't it?
I think it is. I mean, I've been really excited about this for a while. And it's been a bit of a hard sell because sometimes, you know, when you talk to normal people about prepping, they're like, oh, here we go.
I know.
It's, you know, it's doomsday stuff. And it's not, you know, that's the Hollywood idea of it. You know, we're all preparing for doomsday. But the reality is it's just common sense, isn't it?
It is. I mean, if you like rewind the clock back, say 10 years, and you couldn't really say openly, even on YouTube, about the world is. And the way it's going now, more and more people, including myself, are talking openly about all of the current situations and the problems. And like both of us, I mean, by fate, we're both survival instructors, and we both sort of try and instill that key ethos into people. You know, what happens if you haven't got anything? You need to have some basic skills. And the Bushcraft show is fantastic because they've got a whole host of key skills which are being demonstrated, workshops and stuff like that. And preparedness, in my opinion, is no different. It's just bringing something different to the show. And hopefully it's going to be the first of many years to come, mate.
I hope so as well, and it links in really well. So this year will be the second year we've had an overlanding section as well. So that's all the Land Rovers and Hiluxes and, you know, bug-out vehicles. Yeah. So and there's a definite overlap between the sort of ideology of overlanding and prepping. You know, everyone has their off-grid power, you have water purification, food supplies, it's everything you'd need for an expedition.
Yeah.
And that's just then taken across to general life, your home life, or the home front, to call it that.
Yeah, exactly.
That World War II kind of
that
angle.
mentality for sure. Yeah.
But I'm really looking forward to it, because it's something that I think will go down really well.
Yeah.
Now, bushcraft means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. For some it's full Stone Age flint knapping, hide tanning, and I'm all for that. That's absolutely superb. And then for other people, it's more craft based, woodwork and things like that. But to me, I've always come from a sort of general outdoor angle, expeditions, things like that. And I think that's where the overlap between prepping and bushcraft comes in. So it's good to have these skills, to know how to utilise all the natural materials, the wood, cordage, food supplies, medicine, all of these things around us. But
absolutely.
also to go, well, we live in the 21st century. There are a lot of things available that can make life easier. Let's use them. So
I think so. I mean, I'm a big fan of words, and when you see the word bushcraft, it's using ancestral crafts in the bush, which is basically the woodlands here in the UK, for example. And we're talking way back to the Aboriginals and things like that. I mean, all of the really important survival skills, which they didn't see upon the survival skills, it was just a way of life. And the way it's progressed, like me and Andrew, we hit off on a few things, and we said earlier, the further you are away from nature and stuff, and the nearer you are towards technology, at some point it's going to literally be a bad move, because that's the whole thing. It all comes back full circle. It's all about trying to be as self-reliant and sufficient as possible, and to sort of experience time in the outdoors, learning skills. Or if you've never lit a fire in the outdoors, it's not going to be easy if you've never done it before. But all of these things can be passed on, and bringing the world to preparedness to the Bushcraft show is just another dynamic angle. Like Andrew, what you said, the overlanders there, we've got van lifers there, we've got off-road vehicles and stuff, and that seems to be growing year upon year upon year. And this show indeed is growing, because the more people realise that the way this world is heading, the more they're starting to think, do you know what, I really need to make sure that I can do something for my family should the bad day happen and things go really bad. So without all of that doom and gloom sort of peddling in, it's going to be awesome, because it's going to be almost near summertime, isn't it, at the end of May?
Yeah, end of May. So, I mean, normally that's a good time of year. We've got a lot of good foraging around, and the weather's normally pretty good.
Yeah, we'll keep all that crossed, by the way, won't we?
It's always worth double finger crossed for that. But, it's a good time of year. It's at a fantastic location as well. So it's in a estate called Stanford Hall near Birmingham. It's just sort of east of Birmingham. And a beautiful estate, big stately home, massive grounds. It's got a lake, so it's absolutely perfect for bushcraft.
It's good for families too, isn't it? It's not just like people who wear camouflage and eat bacon sandwiches. This is for everyone, the whole spectrum.
It is.
Rich, poor, and everyone in between, any colour, any creed. That's what I love, because I've been to the Bushcraft show twice now, and you see humanity represented there in one place. It's a fantastic place to be in, man.
It's something we always talk about whenever we meet up with all the Bushcraft magazine and the Bushcraft show team meet up. Not very often, because we're all working in different parts of the country, but when we meet up, we're always chatting about how we've done our bit to make it more accessible to more people. If you went back 15 years, it would be lots of guys that look like you and me sat next to a fire drinking tea.
Yeah, a nice cup of tea, yeah.
Exactly, not that there's anything wrong with that, but now you go and there's families, people from all over the world, and it's become very accessible, and I think that can only be a good thing, because if bushcraft and preparedness and survival and all the other related aspects of it are to become more mainstream, everybody needs to get on board with it. So I think it's a great thing.
I think so, and it's almost like, you can quote that phrase of like singing from the same hymn sheet. The idea is to see as many people as possible outdoors, and especially for me is to seeing the kids out there. Now, there's so many kids out there, unfortunately, spend so much time on the screen, so to see them literally running wild outside, and there's lots of stuff for kids to do there as well, and it is brilliant. It really, really is a cool idea, just to see everyone just enjoy himself, really.
Absolutely. We'll have shelter building for the kids, archery, catapults.
Kids and catapults. Oh my God, that sounds good. Axe throwing.
Sure that's the best combination, is it? But some wild cooking. So loads of stuff for kids. And when I was younger, this was the sort of thing I was into. I was never interested. Well, computers back in the 80s.
Yeah, we went there, man. Yeah,
they
same
weren't
here.
really worth bothering with, were they? So, I grew
Yeah.
up playing in the woods, playing in the mud, and I ended up doing what I do now partly because of that, I think. But
Yeah.
ultimately, the more time we can get the youngsters to spend off computers, off technology, it's got to be a good thing.
Oh,
So that's a big part of what we do. Isn't
I couldn't agree more, dude. I mean, even like the Bush kids and stuff, they're going to be there in attendance, and quite a few sort of organisations and stores and stuff. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to introduce this idea. This is going to be the first year this is going to be happening, and I've got 2 or 3 other special guests who are going to be accompanying me, and we're going to be doing free demonstrations and talks. And I believe there's going to be some sort of parachute as well, just in case the weather turns. And it's going to be a good focal point for not just the prepping community, but everyone on site can be welcome to come along, have a chat. And a true legend hero of mine is going to be there, John Lofty Wiseman. Now, you've had the privilege of actually spending a fair bit of time with him, man, and it'd be good to see him again.
I mean, Lofty's the real deal. He comes every year because he loves what we do. And, he wrote the SAS Survival Handbook back in the 80s. And he's written a lot of books since then, but every year he comes to the Bushcraft show. I think he's 82 now, and he still turns up. His knees are a bit shot, but he wouldn't miss it for the world. He loves
that's
it.
Fantastic, isn't it?
He'll sit there with a cup of tea and regale his tales. And
I'm looking forward to catching up with him. Yeah. Oh, wow.
So it'll be great to catch up with Lofty as well. And we've also got Ray Mears coming for one day. He'll be there on the Sunday.
Wow.
So that'll be a pretty cool thing. We've also got a load of other speakers. We've got specialist instructors from all over the place coming to teach different skills.
Oh, that's excellent.
And the preparedness angle, I think, is a superb one, because we can now start to look at things not just primitive living, which harks back to our ancestors, which is a big part of what Bushcraft's about, but we can also look at food preservation, which goes back a long way as well. We can look at home canning.
That's right.
Drying, preparing food for long-term storage. That's a really big one that a lot of people are interested in, and that goes hand in hand with foraging as well.
Yeah,
you can forage your ingredients and preserve them for the long term.
Absolutely.
So that's a major part of what we'll be hopefully having there. Permaculture is another one.
Oh, I love permaculture.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
so I really
fantastic.
If anyone watching this is into permaculture and would like to come and run some workshops, same for home canning and food preservation, if anyone is really into that.
That would be good, because that is a really niche, specialised field, isn't it? I mean, you could literally write thousands of books just on that subject. It's incredible.
Absolutely.
It really is. It's mind expanding, the world of permaculture. It really is. And I just can't see anything bad of it at all, because it just goes full circle. Like you said,
marriage made in heaven, isn't it?
Yes, sir. I say chin chin. But it's absolutely true, because when you think about what Andrew was saying about all of the primitive stuff, and we're bringing it right round to, like a dear friend of mine, I'm a cockroach, said it's survival in the 21st century. And it's just bringing everything round in full circle and everything in between. And it does look like the turnout's going to be really good this year too, which is good to see.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we had a bit of a dip over COVID because the show kept moving to different parts of the year.
Yeah, that must have been tough trying to organise that, man.
Well, the 2020 show was cancelled completely, and then 2021 we came back, but we had, for various reasons, we did that in August, so it's August bank holiday.
Yeah.
And a lot of people had already booked, so the numbers were way down, plus the local council had given us, a maximum cap. To, could only run, I think it was 7,000 people then, but we... hopefully we'll get back to pre-COVID levels of people this time, which will be really nice. So
fantastic.
Lots of smiley faces and interesting people and some good conversations.
It would be. I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm taking my family there, and there's going to be lots of other preppers going there as well, because I put the word out on a recent video, just a taster. So here is going to be the first of a few videos talking about this, which is coming up in the end of May. And if you want to check out the links in the description, there's going to be discount codes to get money off tickets as well for a limited number. So if you jump on that quick, you are going to save yourself money, and it's going to just literally help out everyone else. And we really do look forward to seeing you there. And don't forget, I'm going to try and make a few more videos about this topic as we get nearer the time. So I think it's a great idea, mate, and thanks very much for bringing the idea forward and getting it moving.
Great to have you on board.
Yeah, me too. Love to be there. So there you go.
See some of you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone's going to be there. It's going to be so much fun. So thank you ever so much to Andrew, sir. An absolute pleasure. You guys, take care. Thanks for watching and stay funky.